All right, let's get into bowl season. We've got 2 bowls to get it going on Friday, December the 17th, the Bahamas Bowl. And man, we've had some wild games. I still remember Central Michigan, Western Kentucky years ago in the Bahamas Bowl. Man, was that game nuts from a betting standpoint. Toledo and Middle Tennessee State here, noon Eastern, Friday, December 17. Toledo 9-point favorites, 53.5 the total in this game. Interesting matchup here between these two. Toledo's coming into this bowl game on a house of fire right now. They've played their best football down the stretch, 4-1 straight up in ATS. Their last 5 games only lost to Eastern Michigan, but they beat up Western Michigan, crushed Bowling Green, beat up Ohio, crushed Akron. We'll see how they fare here against Middle Tennessee. Another thing that I'm always going to look at, Conor, in bowl games, and something that I factor into the handicap, I missed mentioning this early during the opening part of the show, strength of schedule. You really want to kind of look at what teams have done this year, who they've played. How have they done against bowl teams? That's part of the process for me. I don't give 2 shits how you do against Akron if you're Toledo. How have you done against bowl teams that are good enough to be in a bowl game this year? That's what I look at more than anything else. And when you look at Toledo, they haven't played a ton of bowl teams on their schedule this year, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it's just not many at all. You look at it, Akron's not in a bowl game. Ohio, is not in a bowl game this year. I mean, there's all kinds of teams right now where you wonder who have they played of caliber. They played Notre Dame. They did cover in that one, and you give them credit for it, but just not a whole bunch of opponents here that were all that strong here for the Toledo Rockets. Now, they are playing their best football again, like I said, coming into this game, but definitely in terms of the schedule, a little bit concerned. Middle Tennessee, it's not, Conference USA has not been as strong as it's been in years past. And you could even say, their schedule at times has looked a little weaker, but, Old Dominion made a bowl game this year, Western Kentucky, Liberty, Marshall, UTSA. There are teams on this resume here for the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders in terms of their schedule, where they are playing teams that were able to make it to a bowl game. So right now in this point spread range here, we'll see how the quarterback situation is too for Middle Tennessee. Keep in mind they had quarterback injuries. And of course, Hockman transferred out. Chase Cunningham was injured. Are we going to see Cunningham able to play in this bowl game for the Blue Raiders? If he is able to play, the initial lean for me might be toward taking the 9.5 here with Middle Tennessee in this game. And as always, you're going to want to read between the lines when you're looking at games like this, Conor, because you're talking about Middle Tennessee and you're talking about Toledo, Ohio. When they get a chance to go to the Bahamas in December, is it a business trip? Do they want to win a football game? Or are you just there for the holiday and the parties and the sunshine and the beach, that kind of thing? You want to really try to get a gauge closer to this game taking place. Who's there to win a football game? Who's there just there to have fun and have a good time and get drunk and party? You're going to find that. You're going to try to find that out too. But and again, this show is about initial leans, initial gut reaction, your feel just from a gut reaction standpoint, leans. I'm not really locking in bowl bets left and right here the first couple days without more information at our disposal. But I'll say this right now, definite lean for me to Middle Tennessee based on the opening line. What do you think here, Conor?
That was my lean too. You talked about it. Both these teams haven't played really anybody. They kind of beat who they were supposed to. They lost. Like you talked about, Middle Tennessee, they win these games against FIU, FAU, Southern Miss, Connecticut. They kind of win the games they're supposed to, and they lose the games, they're supposed to. Va Tech, UTSA. They had one good win against Marshall, I thought, this season, but Marshall's so up and down, hey, I can't even figure that team out. So from week to week, year to year, betting on them. You talked about it, though. What's the thing? All I know is these two teams, I want to get the hell out of Toledo, Ohio, and goddamn Middle Tennessee to go to the Bahamas. So at least they'll be excited to get out of there in the cold winter. I got to take the points. I just haven't been – I know Toledo's played their best football kind of at the end of the year. It's just I don't know if I even going to get to the window in this game. But almost 10 points is intriguing with Middle Tennessee State. But it seems like they're going to lose by just over 10-17. This could just be another loss. We're expected to lose right around, 10 to 17 points I could see. So it's just not one that I'm huge on here early.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the strength of schedule numbers here for this year. We're going to see it. Toledo, let me see. They're ranked 99th in FBS for strength of schedule, 99th. And Middle Tennessee, let me see where they're at. They're actually 108th. So, it is actually a strength of schedule advantage for Toledo. But again, when you look at Toledo, how did they fare? Like, you look at their 3-1, everyone's talking about how they were so great down the stretch. The Western Michigan win was a good win, and we'll give them credit for that. That was a solid win. But the others were, just teams that aren't going bowling, that didn't have particularly good seasons when you look at it, facing Ohio, facing Bowling Green, facing Akron, not good at all, those teams. So you have to keep that in mind. I mean, their one quality of victory down the stretch was against Western Michigan, you can say. So that's what concerns me here about Toledo. They really have, outside of the WMU win, been feasting on the weak, and we'll see if that shows up here in this game.
And who knows if this it doesn't. These things don't always translate, but 4 straight overs for Toledo to end the year. They were almost in the 50s every week and giving up around 20. So I'd lean over just off initial lean here in this game.
Yeah, and it looks like it's definitely Chase Cunningham's not coming back, so it looks like it's still going to be. And they had to split the quarterback in the last game for Middle Tennessee State. They played both of their top 2 quarterbacks, Nick Badiato and Mike DiLiello, for them. They both played in that game against in their last game of the season, Middle Tennessee State against Florida Atlantic. So, and they did win that game, and they did cover, so they made it work. They won outright. They had a rough first half offensively. And then after that, they played a lot better, but give them credit for that. And you know what? Bowl practices, sometimes when you got 2 inexperienced quarterbacks, the bowl practices are going to help you out and have you better, more ready to execute at a higher level offensively after that. So fascinating opening bowl game.